Wait, watch this story till the very end. This isn't just a horror story, it's the truth of my life, which I am sharing with you today. A secret I've kept hidden all this time, but now the moment has come for you to know it too. This story isn't just about fear and suspense. It's a confrontation with the reality that has followed me every moment. Every scene, every event is a part of my life, and today, I'm about to reveal the hidden truth to you. Get ready, because what you are about to see is not just a story, it's the real truth of my life. The darkness of the night had enveloped the school hall, with only a few faint beams of light falling onto the dusty floor. Alia grasped the old handle of the door, and as soon as it creaked open, a cold gust of wind brushed against her body. Stepping inside, she felt as if every room was telling its own story. The walls cracked and peeling, the paint faded, and old papers scattered across the floor. She walked carefully, step by step, until she reached a long corridor. The hallway was so vast and deserted that every footstep echoed back like a haunting whisper. Suddenly, a door swung open on its own, and a faint sound came from within, an eerie noise that didn't seem to belong to any human voice. Alia's heart raced, but she steadied herself and cautiously moved forward. Entering the room, she was hit by the musty scent of old furniture, and the fog inside seemed to thicken unnaturally. On the walls were faded sketches and crimson marks, as if someone had tried to conceal a story long forgotten. Alia picked up a wrinkled old book and immediately sensed movement, perhaps old memories, or a hidden presence stirring within the shadows. Every corner seemed to hide something: tiny doors, pieces of the ceiling with teetering above, and subtle shifts across the floor. Alia realized that this was no ordinary place, and the secrets of the corridor would only reveal themselves to the brave. She took a deep breath and mustered the courage to move toward the end of the hallway, knowing that every step was leading her closer to the terrifying truths of the past. Alia reached the end of the corridor and entered a small room, where an old mirror leaned against the wall. The mirror was cracked, foggy, and worn, yet it held a strange, almost magnetic allure. When Alia gazed into it, her reflection did not appear as it normally would. Her shape was blurred, flexible, and sometimes partially vanished. At first, she was startled, but then she realized that the mirror was reflecting her inner fears and thoughts. As she took a step forward, her reflection moved as well, but occasionally it would lag behind or move ahead, making Alia feel as if the mirror itself was playing a game with her. She steadied her breath and placed her hand on the mirror's surface. It was cold, with a faint vibration, as though the mirror were alive and silently trying to call her. Suddenly, her reflection's eyes turned blood red, and an eerie smile of fear appeared across the face. Alia stepped back, but the mirror seemed to shift with every movement she made. Then, for a moment, Alia felt that the mirror was not merely showing her image. It was revealing the hidden story within her: fear, curiosity, and an endless cycle pulling her in. She understood that this mirror was not just a reflection, but a gateway, a doorway to a reality that compelled her to move forward. Summoning her courage, Alia stepped closer to the mirror once more, knowing that the hidden truth behind it would lead her to a new stage, one where the line between fear and reality no longer existed. After uncovering the mirror's secret, Alia turned her attention to a small drawer hidden in the corner of the room. Covered in dust and cobwebs, she opened it, revealing a concealed diary. She quickly picked it up and began slowly flipping through the pages. Each page was filled with sharp, wrinkled handwriting, written by a child, yet it seemed to pulse with an uncanny life of its own. On the first page, the child recounted the last days of their life, how strange things kept happening in the school, how they heard mysterious voices, and how no one ever believed them. Alia noticed that the ink on the pages seemed to float in the fog, as if the diary itself were alive and trying to communicate. Suddenly, one page read, "It is watching us, and we can see it too, but it is only a shadow." Alia nodded, realizing these words referred to the very shadow she had already sensed. As she moved forward, some of the letters on the pages began to shift on their own, and a faint whispering echoed through the room. Alia understood that this diary was more than just a record. It was a living document connecting past and present. On every page, The child teetered between fear and curiosity, and now Alia was about to face the same fear. She decided to reach the final pages to confront the truth. As she approached the last entry, the air in the room grew colder, and the old markings on the walls seemed to shift. Alia realized that every word, every page, was leading her closer to the true nature of the entity within, and now there was no turning back. After reading the last pages of the diary, Alia steadied herself, but as soon as she stepped out of the room, she felt the space plunge into complete silence. Not a sound, not a whisper, only a strange, heavy pressure pressing in from all sides. Everything was still, yet this calm carried a warning of danger. She took a cautious step forward, but as she moved, sections of the floor shifted on their own. Small objects, old books, a broken chair, and a tattered curtain quivered slightly, as if invisible hands were manipulating them. Alia tried to steady her racing heart and calm herself, but with each step, the eerie stillness seemed to tighten around her. Alia sensed that something was crawling within the silence, beneath the floor or inside the walls. When she glanced toward a corner, a shadowy figure seemed to slither across the foggy ground, moving in a way that was neither human nor animal, but something darker and more sinister. Her heart pounded, yet despite the fear, she summoned her courage and pressed on. With every step, the silence grew heavier, as if everything had been frozen in place, leaving only her own breath and heartbeat as proof of life. Finally, she reached a door and realized that this oppressive silence was a test. It was meant to stop her, to frighten her, to keep her from the truth that now lay just ahead. Alia understood that there was only one way forward. No matter what appeared, whether she was seen or not, this invisible presence could not stop her. Alia stepped into another room, and the atmosphere shifted immediately. The walls began to glow faintly, and fragments of old memories flickered to life, as if the past itself had come alive. Alia's eyes widened as she realized that this room was not just a space, but a mirror of time, replaying the school's past accidents and terrifying moments. Before her appeared the image of a little girl playing, but suddenly the child turned towards something unseen and let out a piercing scream. Alia's heart raced. This was not just a reflection, but a real event frozen in time, replaying endlessly. Each moment grew more vivid, blending fear with curiosity, until Alia could barely tell where the past ended and the present began. As she moved further in, the old furniture and shattered window panes shifted slightly on their own, and the chill in the air made her skin crawl. For a brief moment, she felt as though she were not just watching the memories, but stepping inside them, feeling every fear, every hesitation that had once filled this room. The faded photographs on the walls seemed to move, showing scenes of accidents, whispers, and shadows that had long been buried. Alia realized that the room was pulling her deeper into the story, forcing her to confront the lingering horrors of the past. She took a deep breath and stood in the center, bracing herself. This room was more than a memory. It was a trial. Every flicker of light and shadow demanded that she face the truth hidden within the school's history. Alia knew that moving forward was the only way to survive, to uncover the secrets waiting for her, and to finally understand the frightening reality that had haunted this place for so long. Alia continued through the school, but she soon realized that the hallways and corridors had shifted. Every path that had seemed open before now ended abruptly at a wall or a door. At every turn, a new route appeared, yet the old path vanished as she moved forward. Alia's heart raced as she understood that the school itself was a trap, an elaborate maze designed to ensnare her with every step. The floor beneath her feet subtly shifted, and the old objects around her, books, a broken chair, tattered curtains, moved in strange, deliberate ways, as though controlled by an unseen force. Alia tried to steady her breathing, but with each step, the maze seemed to close in tighter, testing her courage. Suddenly, a faint, disembodied voice whispered, "This is where you are trapped." Alia froze for a moment, then realized that the school was deliberately trying to frighten her, to stop her from uncovering the truth that lay just ahead. Determined, she pressed on. Every turn and shifting wall seemed like a challenge designed to measure her bravery. She knew that hesitation would only trap her further, and that only by moving forward could she confront the secret that had haunted this place for so long. With each step, the oppressive atmosphere grew heavier, but Alia refused to give in. The invisible presence could not deter her. She understood that this trap was merely a test, a trial of her courage, resilience, and resolve. No matter what the school threw at her, she had to face it head-on, because the ultimate truth awaited her just beyond the next door. Alia stepped into the final hall of the school, a vast space shrouded in thick fog and silence. The walls bore old markings, and broken glass glimmered faintly in the dim light. She knew this was the place where she would face her courage and her fear one last time. From the shadows at the far corner emerged a figure, tall, heavy, and inhuman. Its shape constantly shifted, sometimes resembling a human, sometimes a monstrous form, moving with a presence that felt alive. Alia's heart pounded as she realized this entity was observing her every move, sensing her fear, and waiting for her response. Summoning all her courage, she refused to step back. The figure advanced slowly, the air growing colder and heavier with every motion. Suddenly, it spoke in a low, echoing voice. "Are you ready to face your truth?" Alia steadied herself and replied, "Yes, I accept my fear, and I want to see the truth." At her words, the shadows shifted again, revealing a human face, the image of the child from the diary, now calm yet solemn. Alia understood that this being was not merely a spirit of fear, but the guardian of the school's hidden secrets and past tragedies. She stared at the face for a moment, feeling that fear and reality were intertwined, inseparable. Her heart still raced, but she realized that her bravery and understanding had brought her here. She had faced her fear, confronted the unknown, and survived. Taking a deep breath, Alia felt a sense of calm and strength wash over her. She knew that she had not only conquered the haunted school hall, but had also crossed into a new chapter of her life, one where courage, truth, and resilience guided every step forward. Now you've seen the truth of my life that I've never shared with anyone before. This story isn't just horror. It's the real essence of fear, truth, and every emotion I've experienced. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel so you can always be part of more stories like this. Comment below and tell me which moment scared you the most, and share it with those who want to witness real horror and the truth. Remember, the real truth is always hidden behind fear.